Oh my god, I am muted, so crazy stuff. Sorry about that. So let's go again. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, all the peeps from the cult. I messed up, the microphone was muted, but we are looking at the finals, best of 5 in Amateur League Tournament Weekly 151. That is taking place in 22nd of February 2026, and we are looking at the main base of Barks, which is part of Ladder Legends at the moment, and he is having opposing player named Syrril, which is playing Zerg in the blue colors. They have opened up the things. Thank you very much, Next, for shouting out the microphone. The unmute has happened. Everything is happened. What a scout! Yeah, the Barks is chatty. They actually both are chatty. Well, the Syrril is playing. He's actually from France, and Barks is from Canada. Oh, this is interesting. Looks like Barks has caught it out. He will definitely get the queen. What is the defense? There is Spinecrawler being built. There is another queen being dropped in. Much more links joining in. The speed will be finishing for Barks first. Does he have Bane's Nest behind that? No, I did not. Because of muted mic, I did screw up the opening, but now you have pretty much heard everything I said, but in a shortened version. These guys are meeting for the second time. They did play in round 2. And Syrril actually kicked Barks out of topside ladder with a 2-0. So Barks is having his redemption right now. He's actually building a Baneling's Nest and Spine here for defense, and so is actually Syrril. Already have done the Spinecrawler and is building Baneling's Nest. So they are going to have some Ling Bane mashup. Hello, Morgan. There is a delay, so yeah, it's 90 seconds delay to be safe. Everything's sound. There's some links joining in, some Banes for the defense. The third base has not been planted by any of the players. The overlords are scouting. There's actually Roach 1 and into Evo right now coming from the Syrril. He's actually named Thrall. So yeah, he has a different account. No, it's the same account, but he's not playing on NA, that's for sure. I was checking out, I was not able to find, and they both are above 3.8k right now, so I think the Syrril actually is higher MMR, but the Barks has more points in the tournament from the weeklies and monthlies. Won them. And yeah, looks like it's going for +1 right now, so that's gonna be layer +1, layer +1, and into the speed, and it's like 2 base roaches after this Ling aggression or Ling defense from Barks aggression. There is a Scouty sneaking in here, and it might bite. Nope, no, it didn't successfully get the Bane, but the third base here has been dropped down by Barks. He is almost fully saturated. He's actually going for Spire. Oh, there is Ling aggression coming here. The Barks reaction time is a bit slow, but I think he will manage. Yep, he will manage. And the third base is also dropped down by Syrril. There's actually 3 Lings over here, but there is no defensive units. So basically the attack could take place, but Barks is too busy microwing his things, being too happy that he succeeds. And so far looks like he will do pretty damn good. The Roach speed is starting. There is 3 queens, and the Lings are poking the third. There is some Banes placed behind the third. There is check if there is a third. Meanwhile, the Spire is almost done, and I don't think it was scouted by the Syrril. Has he seen? No. He's flying his Overlord pretty much in main, and that's it. He knows that there was the attack here, and 7 mutas are coming up. And I guess Changeling did scout out the Spire, and that immediately makes him make... This is interesting, I saw him making these 3 spores against me too. That's not 2 spores per base, that's 3 spores. I actually make 2 spores in mineral lanes and then 3rd randomly. But I guess 3 spores can actually make sense if they are not overlapping, or if they are overlapping sort of. So that's really good. Maybe that's a good placement, which we can take in our own hands, and you can take them too. Anyways, there comes the Lynx home, and there are the Mutas. Well, looks like the Syrril will defend himself with actually making Mutas himself. There is 2 spores being built here. Queens are joining in the fray. There's actually 6 queens, and 3 more are coming up from the Syrril here. Oh, there's +1 attacks, there is armor, there comes the Mutas. Mutas finds out that there is too many spores, and now there is a lot of queens onto him. So the Mutas actually do not achieve anything. They barely get 1 Overlord, but no, they even don't get the Overlord, and maybe even lose the Overseer. Could that be the case? The resources lost here is in favor of Syrril, definitely. So he's defensive, he can drone up, and he can do whatever he wants to do. And eventually his strategy might include just going for flying units himself. He's actually going for Corruptors. That's very interesting. I never do, because Corruptors, you have to spread them. You have to spread them, not to clamp them up. And he's actually, yeah, the Barks is now switching back to the Roach tech. I'm going for 1-1 for plus speed, +1 armor steal, +1 ranged attacks. And was it a bait? Was it a bait from the Barksies? Did he finish the... Yeah, he did finish the +1 air, so maybe just in case if the response is Mutas, he might be able to like try to build back some Corruptors himself, maybe. So it was like poking with aggression, with map control, with the Mutas, but actually going for Roaches, trying to deny the scouting here, by all means necessary to get the information, to deny the information for his opponent. Barks right now is massing on some Roaches. No, he's adding some Mutas here. Well, there is like 8 Corruptors. I think the Mutas is the bad call right now. Let him build the Corruptors. Don't care about that. Just go for Roaches. Now you need more to beat that many queens. Definitely need more to beat that many queens. The queens are retreating a little bit. The Corruptors are technically not here because there is nothing to do. They cannot shoot ground, they can shoot only air units, and there they come, they show themselves to the Mutas. So pretty much all the Barks needs is to build Roaches right now, and I guess he has figured it out. He killed all the queens, and he pretty much... Yeah, he emptied the 3rd base. The 3rd base drones was saved by Syrril here. Does he have any upgrades? He has only +1 range. The Roaches, technically the amount of Roaches that he can provide is advantageous because Defender's advantage. The production buildings are here, but the amount of units right now for the Barks is actually better. He's going for +2 armor and +2 attacks right now, and GG's called. Barks takes game number 1. Alrighty then, we are back at the finals. Of Amateur League weekly tournament, the Veterans League, which is Diamond 3 to Diamond 2. And we have best of 5. And we are looking at the main base of one of the mirror matchup at the Syrril, which is playing Zerg in a blue color units pieces on the left top corner of a Ruby Rock Ladder edition, and he's facing Barks, which is playing pink color Zerg pieces on the bottom right corner. He's actually going for earlier pool, didn't see which one it is, but that's a pool first build. Meanwhile Syrril actually is going for hatchery gas into pool, which is more kind of a standard-ish. So there might be some aggression from Mr. Barks coming out. He took the first map, although he technically lost in round 2, 2-0. It might have been intentional because he dropped out the pretty fly of the tournament, which he was really happy about. You know, that happens when you're playing tournament against same people and they are making you sweat a little bit, and sometimes you lose the finals and then you are like tilted and frustrated and unhappy. Oh, Syrril will see those lings for sure. What is his defense though? There's only one drone. There should be lings coming right now. Yep, there is spine crawler into double queen into lings, and the drone is being saved. Drupacha is doing full-time move. That's really cool. No, I'm waiting for retirement age to do that. Hopefully that game will still exist, and I think it will. So I will be enjoy that. Well, anyways, those are only 6 lings here from the Barks, so that they caused multiple more defenses. Yep, which is why Spine is cancelled. Syrril spots no other lings coming over the map by this Overlord, which means that Barks is indeed just baiting out more defenses. He might have shot himself in the leg. There is a Bane's Nest being built, so if the Syrril goes for the aggression, it might be painful. There is a Roach Warren being built right now for defensive purposes. The droning count technically, and the amount of drones, the Barks is only 2 ahead, so it's not that big of advantage, which can Syrril like not race to, and he's actually gonna overcome that really fast. He's droning heavily right now, while Barks is actually going for 7 roaches, which might mean that he will go for quick roach aggression. There is Overlord here, which will definitely spot that, as roaches will have no speed. That means that they will be slow as F, and that will give the Syrril time to actually make some defenses, which might be wall off with like couple of spines and maybe some queen or whatever. Anyways, there comes the Roach Parade and the lings are following it up, but there is Bane Nest possible for the defense, so Banes will be the menace for the lings. The full wall off is happening. There is double evolution chamber, 1 Roach Warren, double queen. Basically, if Barks come and shut down the Roach Warren and keeps flooding the roaches over the map, he can actually get something out of it, and looks like that might be his plan. Or he will keep the roaches for the wall off and lings behind. Yep, he is keeping the lings behind, and GG's called. Barks takes game number 2. That's 2-0 already, and we are jumping into game number 3. Alrighty then. We are looking at the 3rd game of the finals of Amateur League Tournament, and you are looking at the main base of the player who is on his match point game, and that's Barks. And he is playing Zerg pieces in the pink colors here on the left bottom corner of Tourmaline Ladder Edition, while on the right upper corner we have his opponent in these finals. It's Syrril in the blue colors, playing also Zerg pieces. That's a ZVZ finals for you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and other peeps from the cult. And yep, there have been 2 straight up victories from Barks, and looks like he is full of some sort of build orders or some sort of stuff that Syrril doesn't recognize so far or have no idea how to deal with. Well, unfortunately for him, he will probably have to study a little bit his opponent and see that, or maybe we are about to see reverse sweep, because as I mentioned before, Syrril actually did kick Barks out of the upper bracket with a 2-0 in round 2, and looks like that indeed is going to be the case, because that is, I believe, 12 gas, 13 pull into Bane's Nest, and that is aggressive. Come with Lings here. The spawning pool is just finishing for Barks, while there is actually 6 Lings already on the way, and there is a couple more coming in, so that's gonna be some Ling Bane fiesta, which might mean that Syrril is taking a point on the board right now, because that's heavy droning, but there are no units to defend pretty much. He's not targeting the drones, he's going for the natural immediately. He might want to deny that by all means. The queen is not gonna spawn, there is only 8 lings being made right now. Technically it's good, 8 lings is what you need for defense before you can manage that. But there are banes already on the way, so now it depends on connection from those. There's a lot more lings coming up from the Barks right now. There's 2 more banes being morphed here behind, and that is natural loss for Barks here. Syrril did take it. His speed is just finishing. Barks will have his speed going up, and he's walling off with Spinecrawler and Bane's Nest. He has a couple of lings on the bottom ground. He might try to bait out the Banes to explode on them. Oh, there's Spinecrawler being repositioned to the ramp, and Syrril might just fall back, because now technically he has equal amount of workers, but he has the advantage of having a natural already on the way. Well, Barks decided to do a counter-attack. His Bane's Nest will be finished, so it's gonna be a little bit painful maybe for the Syrril here, because his army supply is hidden in 4 of these banelings. Syrril actually is morphing in the Banes and hiding close to the queen. Barks is diving some drones, doing some damage, and actually morphing some Banes over here. All of these units have been spotted. There's actually 3 Banes coming in, actually more than 3, it's multiple Banes coming in here. The question is how to trade correctly. It's gonna be 1-for-1 for the Banes. I don't think there's any drones lost so far. Yeah, there's only 1 drone pretty much killed by the Barks here, but the natural is finished for Syrril, and both of players are actually droning right now. Now Syrril has control of this natural, and there are no lings coming up. It's like 1 hatchery production versus 2. There's actually going for lair. Barks is going for lair for some reason, so interesting. What is his plan now? Meanwhile, Syrril is dropping down the Roach Warren, droning until the 16 drones, and Barks is actually going to try to take the natural, but he will find the ling in his face, which is on a hold position, so that's like defending the position. There's a couple of lings sent down to be more defensive. Syrril is actually going to send more lings to be more aggressive, and Barks decides to drop macro hatch. So far the spine is showing off its power, so the question is what the transition is going to be. The Barks doesn't have any more resources. It could be jump into Spire maybe, question mark, but you really need that natural going on. Oh no, he's actually going for infestation pit. Could that be the swarm host from 1 base here from Barks? Very interesting approach. Yeah, looks like Barks is gonna send some Banes here for the show. That was nice actually, yeah, but this lone ling on hold position is not being baited. And the overlords are flying around, so it looks like it might actually be a swarm host play. This ling is just running away. The queen even came for him. Yeah, the Bane was not built to be traded out, and indeed that is the case. There comes Deny the Swarm, and it's 3 roaches being made by Syrril right now for the defensive purposes. There are no upgrades, no lair here. There are just drones mining the minerals, 1 gas, and a couple of roaches, which might be actually used for the aggression. The natural, I believe, was cancelled or denied here by a couple of lings. Once again, 1 Bane is trying to hold it off, but there comes the split off, and suddenly everything is bad. And here comes the form Swarm Hosts, which will go into the Nidus Swarm. Barks is going to wall himself off with Evolution Chamber and couple of Spine Crawlers, and he is gonna start dropping those locusts out of the Swarm Hosts. That's very interesting approach. In my experience, it's well denied by the roaches. If the roaches have the speed, but there is no lair right now. But there is a couple of banes. There is a lot of roaches actually walking over the map with the Ravagers. And the Nidus Swarm was heard by the Barks. He's actually taking some lings with him. And he's dropping the locusts and having lings on top. That's, I believe, one queen has gone down. It's not actually good trades here from Barks. No, he actually takes down almost double queen. If he took down the second queen, it would be good, but this is 4 Ravagers, and that is pain. And these Spine Crawlers are queued in, and they are actually in the same party, which is painful. Some locusts were dropped. Nidus was dropped in the main base, but that's not gonna be the right answer. The roaches and Ravagers are walking up the ramp right now, and now there is no army to defend. If the Nidus is killed, that's all the Swarm Hosts lost inside. Nope, the Barks managed to pull it out, but there comes the Biles, and the roaches are being baited out. There are actually some lings already in the mineral line, but there are banes. Yeah, there are banes being mixed in. There is much more units here from the Syrril. He finally shuts down the overseer there. And the wall of up the ramp is also down. Pretty much now Barks is playing on the cooldowns of the locusts. Meanwhile, Syrril is just clearing up the Niduses. That's nice baneling run by. But yeah, dealing with the Niduses and attacking with the army. And I think this will shut down the Nidus Swarm completely. So the units cannot come back to the... And that's double overlords, and GG is called. Syrril takes game number 3 and puts a point on the board. Now we are having a game. It's 2-1. Let's jump into 4th one. Alrighty then, welcome back to the finals, to the best of 5. This is game number 4 on the Amateur League Tournament Weeklies 151, and we are looking at the main base of Syrril, which is playing the blue color piece, blue colored Zerg pieces here on the left bottom corner of White Rabbit Ladder Edition. He just took a map back, so he has put a point on the board against this guy, which you are looking at the main base right now, and that's Barks playing pink color Zerg pieces on the top right corner. Yeah, Barks looked like he's gonna flush it out, but maybe he just had fun? Question mark? Which is obviously allowed, and I think these two guys are similarly to Balimko. You probably guys know though that guy, you have seen him being casted by me. Also enjoying the matchup, the ZVZ, and having some fun in it whenever it's happening on tournament basis, obviously. It looks like the Syrril is falling back on the same aggression as previous game. He has gone for the gas, into spawning pool, into Bane's Nest, and he's not building the natural, so it's like 12 gas, 13 pool, and then whatever the Bane's Nest whenever the gas allows, going for speed quickly, going 8 lings, and going for some Ling Bane aggression towards his opponent. Well, Barks has seen the lings running over the map, so he's building lings as many as possible. I don't know if any amount of them will be able to savor him against the possibility of Banes. There is only Micro which could do that, and the Banes blew up the Lings. And that's crazy stuff. That was crazy trade. A lot of Lings died. There's one more Bane being morphed in. Now the advantage technically is for Defender because his hatchery is closer. He doesn't have Queen, Barks that is. The Queen is coming up for Syrril here. And the Lings actually choose to run by the Bane, which is quite smart move because Bane is a little bit slower, and while it woggles itself to the place where it needs to be to actually fight the Lings, it takes time. Oh, this one was saved. There is one more Bane being morphed, and Lings from Barks just got the speed, and he is going for counter attack. While he is in trouble for the defenses because these Lings are here. These Lings are going to take down the Bane, but there is like 8 Lings pretty much here, which will start eating away the mineral lane for the Barks. He is counter-attacking, but he's meeting more resistance. The Queen almost gone down for Syrril, but now everything is dependent on the workers. Actually, no drones fell down. The Queen has spawned here for the Barks for defense, which is real good. The question is, where are the Banes here now for the Syrril? He's morphing two in a home base. He might be morphing some in more aggressive spot. He's kind of baiting out the Barks for the attack. Barks might not have seen these Banes, and he loses quite a bit of Lings, and there is a lot of Lings now which Barks have to face himself. He cannot trade them out, so he has to run to the safety as quickly as possible to make more Lings and maybe fight in defense of Queen and maybe even the Spinecrawler. The Queen snipes down the Overlord, which supply blocks the Syrril right now, and Queen is actually pulled to the front. The Ling amount of defensive Ling amount is quite extensive here. That is 2 hatcheries plus inject, which is 3 times as many production units as not really 3 times, it's close. No, it's 1.5 pretty much. It's 3 more larvae pretty much coming out. There is another Queen here for defense. There's actually some drones, which actually first drone has fallen, and Barks is trying to eat away a Queen, which would mean 1 less inject, 1 less energy. And Syrril has spawned a wave of Lings. There's actually 3 Banes being morphed. They are here in the middle of the map. 2 more being morphed now at the main base. The Syrril still doesn't have the natural, while the Barks, well, he's not droning. No, he's a little bit trying to spin some drones in there. He's having the 2 worker advantage. He's making another Queen in main to have double the inject, so more units. But if he trades badly against those Banes, then it's a rip. So far he's actually in quite equal change, but that's 78 Zerglings done to actually 4 Banes and 23 Zerglings. 2 drones have gone down, and now Barks needs to pull himself together for defense, because this huge wave of Ling and Bane is coming for him. He tries to bait them for defense, but there is already a little group of Lings left behind. And here comes the attack. There are no Bane's Nest here for the Barks. And there is a run by into the main base right now with the Lings. The Banes have been sniped. Technically the Lings can eat down the Queen in the main base and spawning full of Barks, which is terrifying, to say the least. I don't think there are any Lings now for the Barks, right, on the field. Yeah, he loses the spawning pool, so he cannot make any more Lings right now, except these which he has already. He's remaking the spawning pool, and he's actually giving up the main base right now, at least it seems so. Maybe he will try to fight, and he indeed is pulling himself to fight, but there are four Banes being morphed in. So one bad move and all of those Banes will blow up in his face. Oh, the Banes were defused pretty safely, but there is a lot more Lings right now being sent in. Well, I believe that Syrril actually can win that trade, and the main base is falling down for the Barks. So suddenly they both are equally on one base. Well, technically this base has more minerals. There's actually some gas being mined, like to mix in some roaches, but well, that many lings, 1-2 roach will not do anything. It's only for Banes to actually do a lot of damage. And I believe there is a supply block here for the Barks, so he cannot actually spend his larva in any way, shape or form, which is bad. Oh, there was a lot of Banes being morphed in here on the top. So to take down the spine, you need 4 Banes, which indeed is the case. There's 2 Banes being survived, and they are going for the drones. And 8 drones go down suddenly. Now there are no units. No GG is called, but the game is won by Syrril, so that leads us into the deciders match. Alrighty then, welcome ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the deciders match of the Amateur League Tournament Finals, the weekly finals, weekly 151, and we are looking at the main base of Barks, which is playing the pink color Zerg pieces here on the bottom right corner on Winter Madness Ladder Edition, and he is facing his nemesis now, I believe, in a fun way. It's Syrril playing blue colored Zerg pieces on the top left corner. And yeah, Syrril just came back with the 2 maps side to side, and after Barks got in lead, it was 12-13, I believe. That did save Syrril, and I guess Barks was not ready to defend against it, but there you go. It's a pull first that he's going for, and he's thinking about dropping Bane's Nest, right? Yeah, so he's now going the aggressor path. It's gonna be same, it's gonna be super mirror matchup. Both of them are going to go for Ling Bane Fiesta with full early aggression stuff, and we'll see who comes out on top. Well, technically so far I'm kind of on side with Barks because I have played against him more, and I feel like he has the same vibe of not going for Bane's Nest so easily, while Syrril is just really merciless guy and doing whatever he wants to do, right? And he's building Banes and whatnot. So yeah, okay, Barks spotted on the map that there is Ling Flood coming, or the Lings are running towards the map, so he's morphing into Banes. So is Syrril actually for the aggression. Double Lings are sent downstairs, and the Banes are here. Just put them on ramp, put them on ramp, put them on. No, that's Syrril's smart guy. He did poke with 1 Ling, and then he saw Banes, and he's like, I'm not going there. That sucks. Why I'm saying the ramp is usually where the vision switches in between, which means that technically if you put the Baneling on the ramp, then units which are running, like for example clump of Lings, could actually just explode on the ramp. There goes 1 Bane in, there goes the other Bane trying to have a little bit of a trip. The speed is joining in. They're doing exactly the same things, except Syrril actually is going for the Roach Warren. Well, Barks did surprise us with some Roach Warren before. He went for 8 roaches and quickly walked over the map to make a mess in Syrril's base, and succeeded. So that was surprising Syrril really bad, and yeah. Well, Barks now has 4 Banes. There is double Bane here in defensive. The Barks might fall for them. He's splitting his units up. He's trying to bait out to understand what's going on. He needs the information, so he is gonna send those Lings towards the opposing side of the map. And there will be 6 Lings made here for the defense. The question is, will Barks scout out the Roach Warren? And he basically saw everything. The natural is being dropped by Barks, the natural is being dropped by Syrril. Looks like they have some sort of gentleman's agreement right now into not going for the aggression. The Roach Warren is being dropped by the Barks too. Technically, worker advantage is in Syrril's favor right now. He has one more worker, but they both are running one gas. There is a lot of lanes here for the Syrril here, and he has one Bane, two Banes actually for the backup. And he's trying to send in Banes one by one to actually bait out some Banes. Usually that happens when they are uncontrolled, they just blow up on one lane and that happens, but these guys are really good. They are microing their units really properly. And Barks is actually building 3 roaches right now, which is a little preemptive, I would call. The Syrril meanwhile is actually droning. Technically he's just loading the drones here in the main base to actually be able to saturate natural as soon as freaking possible. Meanwhile Barks is actually building a lot of roaches. He has 7 roaches, 8 roaches on the way. Syrril might have spotted them. Yep, the link came to the ramp, so he is actually seeing what's up. The question is how he's going to react. Yes, he has 4 more workers prepared, so technically he can provide more units because more resources. He has quite a gas reserve, so he's actually building 10 roaches right now at the time. And here comes the Barks. Barks has how many roaches? That's 12 roaches and 3 Banes. And I think that it's gonna be very same opposing units here. No, it's 10 roaches and 3. Technically the numbers win, but there is 3 spine crawlers being built for defensive purpose, which might be a decider. Barks actually is supply blocked for a little bit of time. He comes in, he drops his Banes, unfortunately, onto the roaches, not on the spines. I think the spines would have been really good target for them, and he pretty much lost this push. Yeah, that roach is not gonna come out. There's 3 roaches being chased by the 8 roaches from the Syrril side right now. The +1 attack damage research has been started, and Barks is forced to build as many roaches as possible for defense if the Syrril decides to push back. But he has halted his roaches in the middle of the map. He's actually building evolution chamber himself, and he's doing everything pretty much under the vision of Barks, which is not the best idea. No. Syrril is droning, trying to catch up on workers, and he will be ahead of those. Meanwhile, Barks is doing as much as possible to get some units on the board or in the game to be able to defend against eventual clapback here from Syrril. Syrril is going for lair, still no second gas, more droning on the minerals, and Barks is also starting to drone because he understands that eventually nothing actually is coming. It was just links, it's just links poking around, and that's all there is to. So the drone advantage right now for a short amount of time is in favor of Syrril after all. And yep, the +1 will be finished faster actually by Barks, but I still don't see. Yep, there is this gas number 2 being taken by the Barks. Syrril is actually taking gas number 2 and number 3. He has defender's advantage in that case, that there are 3 spines, which might have cost him a little bit, but he managed to abuse it with having more drones, and the trade so far because of that roach push has been in favor of Syrril because he has those spines. Those spines pretty much did take away a lot of pushing power. There's a gas number 4 being built. The question is, will they go for the 3rd base or not? The Bark starts his lair only now, and Syrril actually is building Spire behind this. So he has a little roach ball somewhere. I don't know where exactly he has it. Home? Yeah, there it is. It's just those 7-8 roaches, that's all there is. And Barks is actually taking a 3rd base, which is not really scouted by Syrril. But yeah, while he's going for lair and possibly planning to go for roach speed, there is actually Spire building, which means that Syrril will collect as much gas as possible to make big flock of mutas out, which will catch Barks out of will surprise pretty much Barks, is what I wanted to try. My brain suddenly stuck somewhere. I was like, why he's going for armor upgrade? I guess he doesn't know where to put his money. He's actually building Nidus right now. There is Changeling with Overseer, which is kind of denied. And Syrril actually is taking his own third, and he's making 9 mutas. So those 9 mutas will flip everything upside down, because Barks is already behind on drones. He's actually preparing big roach ball, but that roach ball might not. Oh, there is Nidus Swarm prepared, possibly to be launched here, but there is already Lynx pretty much on the patrol, and there comes the mutas. Yeah, the Nidus Swarm actually is popping here, but the mutas have been revealed. So the question is, how does Barks react? Well, he has the Nidus Swarm popping up. Will it manage to do so? Yes, maybe a bit, but only a couple of roaches are coming. Actually, the focus was lost from actually Nidus Swarm, which was really good. That was advantageous for the Barks, but there is enough forces, the ground and air forces, pretty much to take down Barks push with Nidus Swarm, and now the mutas will clear the air from the observers. Meanwhile, Barks is droning, making as many spores as possible, probably. He's actually making 1 per base. Well, as we saw from the Syrril, you should make like 3 spores per base. That was his eventual strategy, so we might take that in case of super extra alert situation. And Hydra then is being built somewhere behind the main base mineral line. These overlords are still in dangerous zone. And this is also not safe. Well, the amount of mutas here is quite dangerous, I would say. And they will take down all the upcoming spores and all the overlords around, so that's a big supply block. Well, Barks actually is pushing for the counter push. He's making mutas for home. He's getting both speeds for roach and mutas, but for the hydras and roaches, but this spawning pool is in danger, and that's gonna go down eventually. Nidus Swarm has popped here, and there is a big roach push. There is quite a big roach wave defending it. The question is, the upgrade advantage is technically in favor of Barks, but the unit amount is bigger for Syrril. Plus he has creep advantage that he can actually transfuse his roaches. Barks is trying to focus down the queens. At least one, yeah, both queens are going down. One Nidus is here, but there is another one. There is actually macro hatch being built. The mutas are patrolling the air. The question is, what's gonna be the next one? The spawning pool is being rebuilt. The worker advantage right now is in Bark's favor because he has 3 bases, but the amount of mutas, which has +1 I believe already, yeah, +1 air weapons, is quite painful. Well, there comes the hydras. Syrril actually is building Hydra than himself, and he's going for +2 attacks and roach speed. He doesn't have any armor though. That is one upgrade down, basically. Barks is just making like responsive spores to protect his buildings, but this evolution chamber is gonna go down for sure. And Barks is mixing in a lot more roaches into the ball. Technically, he's doing the right thing because there is a Bane speed being researched right now. So Banes are really good against Hydras, and the roaches are there to be able to tank it. There's actually Nidus Swarm here. It's kind of revealing the units too fast, I would say, but that's pretty much quickly traveling from point to point, so he can kind of save these poking units. But yeah, the Nidus Swarm is going to go down. There is a lot more hydras needed pretty much to defend against this clump of mutas, but doesn't look like the Barks is planning to do so. He's actually going for double Evo chamber. I guess he's gonna go for upgrades, while Syrril actually has not yet saturated his third. He's still behind. No, he's ahead now with the workers because mutas jumped him. a little bit in the buildings and everything else, but he's actually taking up into the lurker den, which would be quite more painful in a way. But technically, because of Barks's roaches, he can turn them into roaches into ravagers, and he can start biling down those lurkers if the attack happens like somewhere in between the transition point. There is not too many of lurkers from Syrril's side, or maybe Syrril is just opening up more possibilities for the troops or possible tech stuff. Yep, he might have been that because he's now building 9 more mutas, which might mean that he will have crucial. He sees the amount of hydras and he's like, nah, that's not gonna happen. Barks is going for +2 armor, he's going for hydra range, and the mutas are not poking anything at all actually right now. But there is a big wave of mutas going to join in into this party. Well, Barks is sending his units out on the map. He's not actually having army advantage, nor the workers advantage over his opponent. The Syrril actually is taking the 4th behind this, but the muta force is quite extensive, quite impressive. Well, the Hydras can do stuff too. The question is the upgrades. Yep, this +2 attacks versus 1-1. It's kinda equal upgrades, I would say, but the losing the Nidus Swarms is quite painful. The drone was trying to take the 4th base, but there is a freaking link over here. Yeah, the Roach and Hydra is loading into the Nidus Swarm. There comes the Ling run by to actually clear off the 4th base. Will anyone manage to defend it? Yes, those mutas will be here to do so. And Barks is actually going for +1 melee attack, which might mean that he might push some Lings for the run bys to have some extra aggression with the backstabs. Meanwhile, Syrril has already done Hive. He's going for Ultra Cavern, and he's going for Lurker upgrades. So he's opening a possibility for all kinds of tech. And Barks is doing some sort of similar thing. He's going for Hive. I don't think he's opening himself up to the Lurkers. It might be unit who must not be said, or whose name must not be said. But yeah, those mutas are pesky. They are getting rid of Roach Warren right now. They have killed the spawning pool here, Roach Warren here. What's next? The Hive? Don't know. Yeah, the upgrades of choice here from Barks is interesting. There's double spore here for defense. I think those mutas, if they had the armor, they can just jump it. Yeah, this Nidus was denied. There's actually some Banes over here. And looks like this army is actually coming for this 4th base. The Banes are rolling. And yeah, Banes are rolling into the mineral line and trying to find as much Hydras as possible. And well, I'd not say, yeah, there is a big line of units coming out of the Nidus, because Nidus is spitting 1 by 1, but that's 13 drones down. That is now doubling the worker amount for the Syrril, and he has this pesky muta flock just flying around while he's actually transitioning into the lurkers, which will be really painful because he will have +3 attacks, he will have the burrow speed, he will have the range for the lurkers, and he will have the full base economy pretty much if he fixes his macro, which looks like he is going to do real soon. Yeah, the 4th base was not gone shot down, but the drone amount here is still in favor of Syrril, and yeah, he's actually going for chitinous plating while he has all this tech, so he has a lot of money, he's floating a lot of money, he's maxed out, he doesn't care pretty much right now what he's doing. Yep, he's going for 4 lurkers here with this Mutaflow come back, so Barks is kind of feeling the pressure that he must move out, and he will just soon find out that there are the lurkers morphing in. Can he actually manage to shut them down? He doesn't have Overseer here. Even if he had, he would have to save it from possibly Mutas coming. There's a lot more Hydras right now, I believe, in this. There is a big Hydra force here, but it's constantly being denied by the lurkers. Um, there is the steam packs for Hydra. There's Roach Warren being built. There's +3 armor, +2 attacks being researched right now from the Barks. And actually Syrril has built a Nidus Swarm, which I didn't notice, and now he is dropping the Nidus Swarm out, but this will come with a Lurkers on top of it, and there's nothing that can actually defend this. Meanwhile, Barks has decided to take 4th base of Syrril, and Syrril has decided to take 4th base of Barks. The worker advantage still is in favor of Syrril, but the base amount is equal. Well, technically in favor of Barks right now. The question is, can he actually move it out? Barks is making some Ravagers. He's having some Overseers. For some reason he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't have the Overlord speed, which is kind of necessary in these kinds of situations when you are facing Lurkers with the Nidus Swarms in multiple places. Yeah, looks like Barks is gonna try to hunt down the units. There's a couple of Mutas. I believe they were thrown away for some reason. Not that they were, but this Overseer was not actually shut down. And there comes another Nidus. There comes 5 Lurkers over here. And they are actually going for the main base. What they are going to do in the main base? They're gonna target the hive. They're gonna target the tech buildings. Well, Barks meanwhile is actually going for attack for the other side of map. He might lose his upgrades. They might not finish. Those upgrades, I believe, are crucial in these kind of fights when you are fighting Roach to Roach or Hydra to Hydra. That was nice splitties there. No, the upgrades actually are finishing. The +2 has finished. The +3 armor is close to finishing. And yet the Lurkers have taken down the hive. They will take down the Lurker, the Hydra, then they will take down the Nidus. Will they manage to take down the +3 armor? They managed to deny it. But the Hydra Roach Ball has taken down the 3rd base of the Barks, and Barks is actually... no, but the Syrril, and Syrril actually is resupplying himself with a lot of Ultralisks. With full armor, with the Chitinous Plating, not full armor. Chitinous Plating upgrade and the other upgrade, the Claw Stingy. And Lurkers meanwhile have take care of the main base. They are taking down the spawning pool, taking down the infestation pit, and taking down everything else. Meanwhile, Syrril is just happily expanding all over the map. I don't think that this is a good thing. I don't think any one of them have adrenal glands. So they both have hive but no adrenal, but the ultras here are GG ultras, I believe. Barks actually is transitioning into Mutas. I don't think that's a best decision, but I guess what else decision he has, because he has only Spire and Roach Warren as his tech buildings. Technically Mutas are really bad against Ultras, but practically there is no armor upgrade here for Syrril. So yeah, the Mutas will get rid of the Lurkers for sure. There is still no flying speed for the Overseers, which is slowing the army down crazily. But yeah, it's kind of actually, it's not that far in the worker amount of wise, but the army supply here is like a lot bigger for the Syrril here, and he's going to come with those Ultralisks and take care of that 4 base. And yeah, I think that's a GG. And there's spawning pool being built, but what can you do if there is 7 Ultras at your natural? Like, the Mutas will just scratch their backs a little bit. I think the Mutas is nothing. They can't do anything, even though there is only Chitinous Plating armor upgrade. Yeah, pretty much Barks has lost all his buildings. He has no workers, 0 workers. That's 28 drones gone down, and the Ultras are taking care of all the buildings pretty much, and that's only spawning pool done. I think that's Syrril taking the victory of the tournament. Is it a little bit of coping from Barks? Don't know. But he was floating so much money that he could have afforded to do this kind of twisted move, and he was opening himself for all kinds of tech instead of just focusing on one. And the Mutas, nah, they will not be able to beat any queens come in any base. Technically, yes, you can now start killing all the stuff around the bases, but there's much more units, much more links. Barks is not even making himself a drones here. No, he has the drones. For some reason Syrril did miss them. I guess he's checking for possible bases, but he missed this one for some reason. The Mutas are still flying somewhere, I don't know. Yeah, but the worker amount is crazy advantageous here for the Syrril, and he's building like 4 queens. He's just eating away like with the bases with links. Like, what else you need? You don't need anything else. Yeah, the ultras actually could be eating away the bases, and that should be GG. There is one more in the main. And there is this one secretly made. Well, Barks has the money, 600 resources, but he has only flock of Mutas, and I think if Syrril just makes an armor research like 1 or 2, then you're done. There is no comeback possibilities. There is like these bases, mining resources. So it's like 37 workers, but he can make even more. Like, he has 3,000 money, right? Lings and ultras are running around and killing the stuff. Here comes the Mutas. They get rid of this mining base, at least in drone wise. The drones are going down, which is really cute. There is this base pretty much, which I don't think the Syrril actually has scouted, but the queens, he might just spread creep. I think they are just staying here for funsies right now. And the links, where they are pathing. They're checking this. They will check this. Yeah, they will check this, and that's the last base. No, there is one more being built here by Barks. And the links are sent towards this base now. Mutas are trying to get rid of them. There is no air upgrades here. The links are dancing pretty much. That is a little bit of BM here. There's actually 9 Mutas being built right now from the Syrril side. He's building 9 Mutas. Yeah. You know, he will beat you with your own game. I'm not really trying to be I mean. Yeah, no, when the ultras ate away your army. No, it's... Yeah, it is low. Anyway, GG. Well, Syrril wins the tournament. The weekly tournament goes to Syrril. He beats Barks in 3-2. It was reverse sweep. It was 3 maps in a row. After losing first 2 maps, came back. And yeah, good games, well played. See you on the next weekly.